Alright, here's a quick walk around video to supplement a for sale post. This is a 90 Toyota Supra Targa top, NA chassis, GTE motor, 7M GTE, Raptor Racing exhaust. It's a 3-inch turbo back, divorced downpipe, rerouted. It's either a 50 or a 54 trim Driftmotion turbo. I forget which one I got. Very responsive, little upgrade in power. The paint is not perfect, but overall in pretty good shape compared to most Mark IIIs these days. You can see some flaws in the paint on the back hatch. Dead clear coat there, so that would need to be addressed if you wanted to get a perfect paint job. Rear bumper, some flaws there, and touch-up paint on a few panels, some on the hood there, on the fender there, center of the hood, and the front bumper needs a respray. But overall good shape, no body work required. Body is straight, clean, no Bondo as far as I'm aware. It's in real good shape. Suspension is Coney Sport struts or shocks, along with Tonabee springs, so it's a little lower than factory stance. Not by much, still very drivable. The wheels are 5 Zigen FN01RCs, 17 by 8. They may or may not be included in the sale. They'll probably be an optional add-on. So I'll pop open the trunk. Here's the engine bay, Mishimoto aluminum radiator, new alternator, new battery, Apexi intake, Driftmotion turbo, polished compressor housing, ceramic coated exhaust side, ceramic coated stainless steel divorced downpipe, which is rerouted. It's a Raptor Racing. With, if it'll focus, there you go, with an AEM wideband sensor plumbed in there. Charcoal canister is still there, functions. Power steering fluid reservoirs from an NA. Some custom plumbing going back there, works just fine. New wiring harness, not rebuilt, new. It is not a Toyota OEM, it's one that I made, but it has all the right connectors and terminals and all of that. It's mil-spec Tefzel coated wiring, which is better than the factory PVC coated wiring. And I color coded most of those. But you can see brand new connectors throughout. There's the newer alternator. Compressor for the AC, it's relatively new, it's a few years old. Throttle body's JDM. The US throttle bracket is not present. I've got a custom made bracket right there for the NA throttle cable. Works really well and gets rid of the convoluted bracket setup that most US cars had. There's a Viper 5701, I believe, alarm installed. So it does have remote start and a two-way pager. So there's the engine. and I'll show you the interior when I get back home. But there you go, there's the engine bay and the exterior. A few other things I'll note. This is a brand new, straight from Toyota, fan shroud. And when I replaced the suspension, those are new KYB shock mounts. I'm trying to think of what other small things I replaced recently. There's a big long list. Hose clamps are new. T-clamps instead of the factory worm clamps. I replaced a lot of the intake gaskets recently, so there's a new throttle body gasket, intake plenum, intake manifold, cold start injector, ICV, and a few others. All the fuel washers associated with that. Those guys are all new. All right, interior, driver's side. Door's in pretty good shape. The vinyl is cracked in a few locations there. All in all, good shape, relatively clean. Just a couple cracks. Pillar pod, low-tech pillar pod with AEM wideband, Pro Sport, premium boost gauge, and of course the regular cluster. Voltmeter installed there. Greddy Profec B Spec 2 boost controller. Works very well. TRD shift knob. Love that. And that's about it for the driver's side. Let's hop over to the passenger side and we'll look at the hatch. Oh, back seat. Nothing real special there. Super clean. Hardly ever used. So that's easy to keep that clean. The hatch, you see the rear carpet there. This is one of the biggest things I wanted to replace on the interior. Get this guy swapped out. But relatively intact, missing a cover here for the Targa clip, and then missing a clip on that guy. Hasn't been a big deal, which is why I don't have pieces there. Passenger side. Door is a little cleaner on this side, but still we've got crack there, and I think that's a cigarette burn or something from a long time ago. One flaw in the dash. There, that was there before I got the car. No idea what that's from. You don't notice on the driver's side, so I haven't bothered to fix it. Dash is very clean. Couple real small cracks up there, but overall I think that's excellent shape for a Mark III dash. Steering wheel is not in great shape, that's why I've got a cover on it now. But unless it's been recovered, none of the Mark III steering wheels are very good now. So, not a big deal there. Lighting has all been redone on the inside. So the switches, I guess I gotta go over to the driver's side, but you can see the climate control there. That's been all redone by me. Green indicator lights. Oops. Green indicator lights. White backlighting. Red and blue, red display. AC works. AC is beautiful. One very unique thing about this car are the needles. And I can't demonstrate this too well in the daytime. And the camera won't focus, but the needles are all lit individually. So the needles have their own backlight that comes on with the ignition. The backlighting for the gauge is all white with the red needles. The needles are painted and, like I said, separately lit. There are LEDs for every needle that only light the LEDs. So those are all redone. The backlighting for all of these switches is white, with the exception of the dimmer switch. I never got to changing that one. It's super dim. That's an easy one to change though. But these guys, white backlight, and these guys are red, obviously. So red backlight in the switches there. Trying to think if there's anything else. I guess that covers most of the interior.